didn't think I'd be talking about today at a soccer show. But here we are.
We discussing today's FC.
Yeah. Sadly so.
Just these two tonight answering your questions. We've got some good ones. Even Stevie stays.
Why is so surprised? Surprise!
What would you rate highest? Breakfast, dinner, or lunch?
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
All right. Okay, company made.
Hey, just before you do, I was driving home after we did that one, and I was kicking myself because I forgot about fried potatoes as well.
I was mad at you for not mentioning that you can have a steak for breakfast with steak and eggs. I was like, you could have
fried
like
eggs.
sold
That's
it
very
better.
American though.
Yeah, but he could have still sold it better to you guys at the breakfast.
No, it's still dinner. Dinner is the
Yeah.
winner.
And Burley
Don't-
said dinner as well.
Yeah, don't try
Last
to
night.
bail
Yeah.
him out.
What does Bully know about dinners?
Okay, company
know
made
the
a
golf
comment
course,
yesterday after the Bayern Boca Juniors match that it's games like this, I wish I was still a footballer, in reference to the atmosphere. Do you remember the last live match you attended where you had the same feeling?
Oh boy.
I do.
Go on.
When I was coaching the MLS All-Star team against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, it was kind of normal, felt normal. No big shakes, nothing, you know, getting on with it, doing the job, making sure we got everything sorted. Everybody knows what's going on. And then we got on the bus, and Maurice Johnson was my assistant for that game. So we get on the bus, and him and I sat at the front, and we're just about reaching the stadium. And there was a complete change in atmosphere outside. All of a sudden, all the fans were there, and then they were singing, and then we're pulling up to the bus, pulling up to the stadium, and I just got that feeling. And I was going to turn around to Mo and say, by the way, and as I turned round, he's looking at me. He's got the exact same look on his face that I had, and we just kind of went like that. He's like, just wish you'd been a player again, getting ready to go out and play on the field.
Just feeling that.
You just feel
I love
it.
those big atmospheres.
You just feel it.
Let me see. Last game that I've been to would probably be Newcastle against Arsenal a couple of seasons back. It was the last home game of the season. Arsenal had to win to hope to finish I think it was top 4 at the time. And this was Newcastle, new owners, and with it being the last home game, War Flags, who is the group that does all the flags inside St James's Park, were given special dispensation to kind of go over the top with the flags, and it was some atmosphere. And the thing that also kind of struck me, when I played for Newcastle, the capacity was 35,000. Now it's up to about 56 or something of the sort. So it just feels a whole lot bigger, a whole lot louder. And then, as I say, last home game of the season, weather was great. There was this expectation around the football club. It really was a special time. That game especially.
For you to say that as well, because it's always some atmosphere at St James's
It always
Park.
is. Always, but last game of the season, you know, it really was nice.
Stevie, as a player, do you ever remember looking at a summer signing and thinking, I can't wait to play with him?
Yeah, John Barnes. Because we played against him. We had all played against him when he was at Watford. And as soon as he signed, and Peter Beardsley as well, I mean, and then after that he signed Ray Houghton. But that pre-season, Barnsley in particular, and then realising how good Peter Beardsley was as well, yeah, straight off the bat, like, I'm glad he signed for us.
Did you ever get that, Shaka?
Yeah. So I mean, playing at Newcastle, signed Alan Shearer. So I arrived in '95, but I arrived after Les. So that was the same summer that they signed Les Ferdinand, Ginola, Warren Barton. I arrived after them. I arrived just before the season started, so I was kind of the last of those signings. And then the following season, the following summer, Keegan signed Alan Shearer, and that just kind of set the place alight, you know, especially Alan coming back home to the northeast. The place just erupted.
All right. Would you guys ever have the guts to ask your manager to go watch the game inside the locker room with the rest of the squad if it was hot outside?
That would
In jest.
that would be against my Trinidadian principles. I can't fool for the heat. I'm not supposed to. I wouldn't.
This is obviously in reference to the Borussia Dortmund players, the bench watching the game from inside the locker room. That's why this question's come off.
I tell you what, the players must have been going, "You beauty."
Yeah.
Fantastic. See you later, lads. I'm off.
Yeah. I'm in.
Really? Why you don't like sitting on the bench to watch the game in the heat?
1,000 degrees. No, thank you.
Shaka, how tough was it for you and your European-based teammates to come back and play in Concacaf, especially having to adjust to the weather and field conditions?
Well, the weather you're used to, even though you're playing in cooler temperatures and then you come back, and the game adjusts. The game is a little bit slower. International football is slower than club football, just in general. Anyway, I loved it for so many reasons. I keep making the point. I played in a junior national team with Dwight York and Russell Latapia, 10 years old. And then now all of a sudden we're kind of playing for the senior national team. That was just special. So it was never, I never felt it was an issue for me. I never felt it was tough.
How many square feet is a penalty box?
I'm not 100% sure, Stephen.
I mean, they've not got a lot of running to do with goalies, do they? Let's be honest. You're probably asking the wrong man, aren't you, Shaka?
I don't understand. Fittest players on the park.
Yeah.
Easily.
Feels like that was a bit 6,000 square feet.
How much? 6,000 square feet? So quick math. 54 feet to the top. Boxes 24. So 60 yards, 60 by 54, 3,000.
Oh, you must have been shattered after running all that.
Especially in that heat.
How many actual runs? In
that heat, you'd be in the dressing room relaxing.
I mean, how many actual runs do you do and goal?
One.
From the halfway line into the goal.
When the ref says, go to your ends and run down there, that's it.
That's it. Fair enough.
Take a little rest, do it again, second half.
7,000 square feet, apparently. There's all different answers popping up.
It was something around.
I'm getting fed them.
Sweeper keeper? No, too hot.
44.
Just look at a beautiful man over
Oh, nice.
I'm working it out. It's just on 6,500, 7,000. Listen, I take my penalty area calculations very seriously.
Yeah, I can see that. More serious than your power rankings.
What?
All right.
Oh, allegedly.
Why had to go there?
Stevie, rank them. Gerrard, Lampard, Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh, boy.
Oh. Wow. How do you leave one of them third? I don't think you can look past Gerrard, quite honestly. Gerrard carried Liverpool for a decade. Didn't win the Premier League, but almost did. Won the Champions League, won every other trophy available. But as I said, he was carrying the whole club on his back.
How many times did De Bruyne win the Premier League?
Yeah, but De Bruyne was playing with 10 other world-class footballers. Steven Gerrard wasn't. That's the difference. Same with Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard was phenomenal. I'm not sure there's been a better midfielder in that era, or any era, that did what he did in the middle of the park and then scored the amount of goals he did getting in the penalty box. That's how good he was. And Kevin De Bruyne, as you said, absolutely phenomenal. But Kevin De Bruyne couldn't do what Steven Gerrard did. Steven Gerrard could do what Kevin De Bruyne... If Steven Gerrard was in Man City's team, Steven Gerrard could do what Kevin De Bruyne did for 10 years. And he could do the same for Chelsea. But I don't think Lampard or Kevin De Bruyne could have carried Liverpool the way that Gerrard did, which is what separates Gerrard from the two of them.
So Gerrard's top.
Gerrard's first. Oh. I'm picking a team tomorrow.
Prime.
Lampard. I'll go with goals.
Okay.
I'll go with goals. Lampard. I mean, it seems weird, Kevin De Bruyne is third, but just tells you that the two in front of him are absolutely frightening.
You got any thoughts on this, Shaka?
No. Gerrard kept scoring on me. So he's
I
last.
just want to see him last.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm nothing if I'm not biased. Gerrard kept scoring on me, so he's last. I played in West Ham with Frank, so he's first.
Yeah, the good thing is you're not alone. Gerrard's scoring
Yeah.
a lot of goalkeepers.
And it's taken many years of therapy for me to be able to say that comfortably.
Yeah.
Gerrard scored on me many times.
He just couldn't stop scoring on me. I don't know what did that. What did Gerrard?
Shaka, who would you put on your Mount Rushmore of goalkeepers?
Buffon.
All four.
or all across the whole mountain. I love Gigi Buffon. So I have to have four. Buffon. I'd have Peter Schmeichel. I'd have Gordon Banks. And then I'll be honest. Personally, I'd probably have Ray Clements. Growing up in Trinidad and Tobago. I've told this story before. Growing up, obviously this is pre-cable, you got a lot of Liverpool, because Liverpool were the best team in Europe then. And kind of Ray Clements made me fall in love with goalkeeping. That was who I saw as a kid playing and had me fall in love with the position. So I put Ray Clements there. That's a very personal choice.
Yeah, and it is your Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, it's my Mount Rushmore. So Ray Clements would be the fourth to that.
Have you got anything to say about Ray Clements, Stevie?
I think too many people don't rate Ray Clements the way that Shaka does. Is because it didn't look as though it was hard work for him. He made saves because he knew where it was going. He read it before it was hit. He made everything so simple and so easy. I mean, you talk about an original sweeper keepers. Clem was the original sweeper keeper. Made saves, made brilliant saves. But the majority of the saves he made were because he was smart and he got in a position where he could save that. You know, he's not one of those guys. You're not going to go and find 1,000 Ray Clements tipping things in the top corner. You'll find Ray Clements actually in that corner catching it because he knows where it's going. And I don't think people give him enough credit for that. Ray Clements, 100%.
I love Ray Clements.
Absolutely fantastic. What a great guy as well.
Yeah.
Stevie, would Salah, Van Dijk, Wirtz and Alisson all have started for Liverpool during your 5 title-winning seasons?
Boy.
Any others currently you think would break in?
Oh boy, what a question that is.
That's a
Jeez.
belter.
Good job, Mitch.
So Salah would play on the right. Yep. Van Dijk would play beside Alan Hansen. He's Wirtz. I'm not picking Alisson because Alisson would not have been able to dominate his area with cross balls the way Bruce did. Or Clem. I'm not picking Alisson. Wirtz. Who do you move for Wirtz? Dean St John, Peter Beardsley, Kevin Keegan.
That's a hard ass there.
Ooh. I'm going to say right now, no.
I think that's fair. He hasn't played a single game for them yet, so...
So Salah and Van Dijk, I would say yes, and no to the other two, and Alisson because cross balls he couldn't do what Bruce did.
Is there anyone else in the current side that you think that they've missed out here?
No. No.
Stevie, what are 3 things you're going to do with the show when Dan puts you in charge? So yesterday, Dan explained that he's been put on the waiting list to have a liver transplant, and obviously we're all really supporting him, but he is supporting you to step in and take over.
Well, I've got 2. I'm not sure of the third one. The first one is refreshments should be allowed on the table.
Okay.
100%. Secondly, I would have way more highlights, way more goals, just to annoy Craig.
What, from random leagues that he doesn't
Oh,
watch?
from
Wherever.
USL, second division in New Zealand. Absolutely, those would be straight on the list.
Do you really want an angry Craig every day?
Why not? Just wind him up.
Can you not have an angry Craig every day?
Listen,
How do you get happy Craig every day?
he said the thing that gave me hope last week on this show when he was on with you and I. He said he was going to walk out. So if we can just make that happen,
Okay.
that would be
So
fantastic.
refreshments, more highlights from random
And the third
lower
one, I'm
leagues.
not quite. The third one, you need to help me out. I'm open to suggestions for the third one.
Jack?
I have no idea.
I can't think of a third.
I like your
Not a-
refreshments idea, though. That's
That's a belter.
Yeah.
You know what would be nice? I'm just going to give you this. What about if we clip the mic if someone's talking too much rubbish, or they get a
Oh no, you're right. Yeah. No. We're all hooked up, right, with an electric current, right? We've all got a buzzer, right?
This is suddenly
So you think
sinister.
somebody's talking nonsense, you just go, and they get zapped. That would be brilliant.
Do you control this? Who controls this? Is it because if I was controlling,
No, I
I'd
think-
just be zapping people for fun?
And just to be fair, everybody gets, so we would all have 3 buzzers. Well, 2 buzzers, sorry. So I'd have a buzzer for you and a buzzer for you. And if I just thought you were talking nonsense or wanted you to button it, I'd just give you the zapper. You might as well spend half an hour, everybody would just go like that.
Like whack-a-mole.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, there we go. We got there in the end.
Refreshments, highlights,
boy.
and the buzzer.
Well, that took a turn I
Marvellous.
didn't expect. Thanks for the
Brilliant.
question, James, though. That was a good one. Thanks for all of your questions on today's Extra Time. We'll be back tomorrow with no zappers.
Refreshments?